So today I'm going to cover the vlookup function, and I'm going to cover it using a real-world example. So we want to look up the bonus of each salesperson here in this address list, and the reason is we're going to send the bonus, we're going to send them a letter telling them that they got a bonus. So what we need to do is we need to find the bonus information, and the bonus information is contained in a separate sheet called sales compensation. So what we want to do is we need to tell Excel that we want to find this person and then we want to find what their bonus is. So if I go to the sales compensation sheet, I can see I have all the sales figures in there and all the people. With the VLOOKUP, it's always good to sort the information you want to look up. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this range first before I do anything. I'm going to go ahead and hit the sort button. And I'm going to sort by the Social Security number and then click OK. If you notice, we have a Social Security number in our sales compensation sheet, and we have a Social Security number column in our salespeople address list. So that's what we want to look up. And once we look up this person's information by the Social Security number, we'll be able to pull in their corresponding bonus. So we're going to start the function, and we're going to go ahead and look up the person's Social Security number first. So we're going to go ahead and type equals. Start the function and vlookup. And then we're going to type an open parenthesis. So below the function, when you start a function in Excel, you have a little tooltip here that gives you the function name and then it gives you the arguments within the function. So you can see vlookup is the function name, and then the first argument Excel is looking for is the lookup value. So to find the lookup value, we basically, or to specify lookup value, we can just click on the cell that has the lookup value. So in this row, it's A2, or we can just type in A2. I'm going to type a comma, and then the next thing Excel is looking for is the table array. The table array is just the group of data we want to look in, and it has the information we want to return. So we're going to go ahead and click on the sales compensation sheet. And when I click the sales compensation sheet, I'm going to highlight B2 through F11. And B2 through F11 contains the Social Security numbers and also contains the bonuses. So when we highlight the range that we want to look in for a VLOOKUP, we always want to start with the column that contains the data we're going to look up, and then we also want to include the data we want to return. So this is what is called the table array. It's just the information that we need to look up and return. So what I want to do is just click up in the formula bar here. I'm currently on the sales compensation sheet, but I can go ahead and finish my function in here by just clicking up in the formula bar. And so now I'm in the formula bar, I'm going to type a comma. And when I type the comma, I have the next argument that's required, and that's the column index number. This column index number is just which column we want to return. So we have, if we start from our leftmost column in the VLOOKUP, or in the range of the VLOOKUP, we're going to count from 1, and then we're going to count over to the right. So the first column in our range is 1, and then the profit margin is 2, rate is 3, commissions 4, and then bonus is 5. So we want to return the 5th column of this table. So we're going to go ahead and type 5. And we're going to type a column. And then Excel asks, do we want an exact match or an approximate match? In this class, we're just showing examples of an exact match. So if we want an exact match, we need to either type the word false or you can type a 0. So I'm going to type a 0. I'm going to do a closing parenthesis, and then I'm going to press enter. And then Excel moves me over to the salespeople address list, and it finishes up the function for me. So I found that Buddy Rich should receive a $37.50 bonus. So then if I go over to sales compensation, I can see that if I look at Buddy Rich, I can see that he should have a $37.50 bonus. So I'm going to go back over to address list, and now I need to copy down my VLOOKUP function through the range because I want to look up each person. I want to find their Social Security numbers and then their corresponding bonuses. To do that, because Excel uses relative referencing by default, if I copy this down, I'm going to have some issues in that my table references are going to change when this function is pasted down through the range. So I want to keep this static. So if I go up to where it says B2 here in my sales compensation table we selected earlier, if I click between B and 2 and then I press F4, that'll put dollar signs between B and 2. And if I click between F and 11 and I press F4, it'll put dollar signs between F and 11. So we just put dollar signs in the table range we specified earlier because we want that to lock in no matter where we paste it through the range. Because we want to search the same table, we want to find the information within the same table and return our return information within the same table. So we're going to go ahead and press enter here. And that, since it's absolute now, what Excel is going to do is it's going to, when we paste down through the range, it's going to look up the corresponding value to the left. So it's going to change to A3 and then A4 and A5, but the table will remain the same. So we're going to go ahead and now go to our fill handle here and then copy down through the range. And now if I click on I3, I can see Excel did not move the table at all. It's still B2 through F11, but it did change the lookup value, which is A3. So our lookup value in I2 is A2, and then our lookup value in I3 is A3 and A4 and so on. And the table stays locked in, and Excel goes ahead and looks up each social security number and then returns our bonus value we're looking for. So I just want to show you real quick the layout one more time of the function. If I go to this sheet, I pasted the actual function in here. So again, our vlookup function is designed to take a look at a cell we have in our current sheet or current range and then find a corresponding value in a different sheet or a different range or a different workbook. When it finds that value, it'll return information to the right of that value. So within the vlookup function, Excel is asking us for the lookup value. When we go for the lookup value, we're going to basically specify that, and then that's the value we want to find in the other sheet. Our table array is just the range of data we want to look in, and so that will contain the lookup value and will contain the information we want to return based on that lookup value. Column index is which column within the range we want to return. So we count from 1 and then over to the right until we get to the appropriate column number. And our range lookup just tells the vlookup function if we want to do an exact find or we want to do an approximation. So in this case, we want to do an exact find. So that's how that works.